So now I have the instructions over here, and my SPSS file on the right. So we're going to go to, oh no, my mouse disappeared. Oh, there it is. Okay. Variable view. And then you want to type in under name ID. Then age. Then pet ownership. You cannot have spaces. That's why there's a lot of underscores. And there cannot be numbers in your variable names. So after you do that, you can go over to the label and type in this second column on the PowerPoint where it talks about the label. So that's a more descriptive summary of what your variable is. So this can have spaces and numbers. And if you want to see what this is, you can always make it wider in your label. So if you have a longer variable name, you can always make it wider just by clicking on this little in-between thing of the top bar here and dragging it. Yes. Okay. So for values, we have values for pet ownership. So we're going to go into this third variable and click on the 3 dots next to none. And you get this little dialog screen that comes up. And then the value of 1 is going to be yes. So you type in 1, the label, and then press add or enter. And then 2, no, and then either add or enter. And then you'll press OK. And now it should show you a little snippet of that. Yeah. Do this one again? Yeah. So if you click on the little dots next to the value, none, which is what it originally says, in this first box you'll type in 1. The next box you type in yes, because in our value of this code book here, 1 is equal to yes. So you type that in and then press add. And then you do the same thing for 2. And put in no, then add. And if you do it again, it'll just tell you that you already did have that, so it'll replace what you had already. And then you press OK, and then it should show up. Okay. Then we'll do the stress level. So this one has 4 values, so you put 0 first, and then that equals no stress. Add. 1 equals low stress. Then you'll add that. 2 is moderate stress. And 3 is high stress. Whoops. And this PowerPoint's on D2L if you want to have it open like I do on both screens so you can see it more easily. You can do that too. And then once you add all 4 of them here, you'll hit OK. Now your values are showing up with decimal places because over here in decimal land we still have 2 decimals. So you can type in 0 instead of 2 and it'll erase the decimal points. Or you can press the down button. Oops. So if you click in another one and press the down button, it makes new variables for you. But you don't want to do that, so don't do that. Okay. So I think we've done everything we can do on this page. So now we're going to go to entering the rest of the data. Whoops. So we're going to go back to data view. Oh look, this gives you more instructions. Haha. Sorry guys. This gives you step-by-step instructions. I totally don't know why I forgot about this, but again, you can look at this in the future to see the same things we just did. So now we're going to enter the actual data in data view. So you should see across the top now it has your 4 variables, the ID, age, I know you can't see it very well, but pet ownership and stress level. So this is what the final thing should look like. So you're going to enter in these values. You can go row by row if you want, or you can just go down the columns, whichever is easier for you. But these are the values you want to enter in your new SPSS file over here. So make sure you're in data view, and then you'll be able to do this. And it's going to give you decimals for everything that we didn't change the decimals for, just so you know. And if you don't like that, you can go back to variable view and change it. Can everyone see these numbers? Should I make it bigger? Is that better? I can't see anything, so I have to make things like super large.
That's what I think. That's how
So that one, ID doesn't match up. So you want to clear that. It's all values. Yeah. And then go down to pet ownership and take that in. Yep. So that's So this one is actually 0, no stress. So since things are dealers, set up in a specific way, that's not how we set it up. But, so. And then if you already have one in, you can go through low stress. And then half. And then so the second one, you're overrating it out. Two is, I think, moderate. And then there's value for three, which is high. Yeah. So this is only because they're there. So I made up this data set. So there is values from 0. We don't have to do that, but I'm going to try to do that now. No, I'm gonna have you guys do the same one I'm doing, just so that you get the same answers. We're gonna do
Press tab.
All right. So if you want to see the yes or no or low, moderate, high stress in your data set, you can actually do that by right-clicking, I think. Hold on. I gotta remember how to do this. This button here that has the 1 and the A, if you click on that, it'll show you the word answers instead of the numbers, because you have those values entered in your value labels. The 1 and the A symbol up here, you can either have the numbers or the words. So I like numbers, so I usually keep it at numbers, but if you like having the words here, you can put it like that. So this button here, the 1 to the A, and if you click it again, it goes back to numbers. So whichever you prefer is fine. I don't care. All right. So next, we're going to save our file. So you're going to go to File, Save, just like you would for everything else. And then you can save it as whatever you want, as long as it's not offensive, please. Not that I'm going to see it, but and then you hit save, and then ta-da, this output window pops up. Whoa, this is your output window. So this keeps a log of everything you're doing in the drop-down menus. So here it's just saying that you saved this file to this location with that name. That's all it's saying. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. So summarizing continuous variables. So if we go back into variable view and we go over here to measures or measure, this first one doesn't really matter because it's just an identifying a case number. So it would be like identifying you with your social security number or your school ID number, things like that. So I'm going to put it as scale just because it is a continuous type thing, but we're not really going to use ID for anything except to keep track of this is our first case, this is our second case. Age is continuous because it's on a range of 0 to, I think the highest age in this file was 44, so it is on a scale. Pet ownership is nominal because, again, our options are yes or no. And then here, stress level is ordinal because there are 4 levels and they are in an order. Yay! So if you put these in a different way, so if you would put scale for these last two, it won't let you run certain tests the way you want to run them. So you always want to check to make sure that these are the way that they're supposed to be so that you're running the correct tests. Okay, so now we're going to go to the frequency procedure. So this is where you're going to find skewness, the mean, the standard deviation, the number and percent, all of that fun stuff. So if you go into Analyze, and then put your mouse over Descriptive Statistics, and then to Frequencies, you get this little pop-up box. And again, there's more information in the slides. So we're going to summarize age. So you want to click on age so it's highlighted. And then you can either double click and it comes over here, or you can click this button and it'll come over to this side. Any variables that are in this right-hand side will come out in your output with whatever tests you're running on them in this dialog box. So we always want to display the frequency table. This tells you the number and percent in each category. So let's press OK, and our box will come up. So since this is a continuous variable, we don't really care how many people are of a specific age, for the most part. We'll probably care more about the mean or the average age and the standard deviation. So this doesn't tell us that information. So what we're going to do is go back to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Frequencies. You're going to get sick of me saying that because we're going to do it a heck of a lot. And then you go to Statistics, and then there's a ton of options here. So if you're looking for the standard deviation, you'll want to click that box off. The minimum and maximum, maybe you want to know those. Sure, why not? Maybe you want to know the mean. We want to know the skewness. Okay. If you want to know anything else, you could click them off, but that's all I'm going to find. So then you click Continue after you click off the ones you're interested in, and then you'll press OK. And then you'll see here that you have both of those boxes come up. So this is the one that we ran without those statistics, and then this is our new one that includes the mean, the standard deviation, all those other values are in this top box. This bottom box is your frequencies with the number and percent of each age value. So if I asked you what the mean age of this sample was, the answer would be 28.80. Very good. You're going to have to do that for your one homework question. Yay. Yeah. Yes. So you go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and then Frequencies, and then you click there. You make sure you have the age variable pulled over by either clicking on this button or by double clicking on it. Then you'll go into the Statistics button over here on the right, and this next dialog box pops up, and you check off what you're interested in. So if you're looking for the mean, you put a check mark there, standard deviation, whatever other things either I asked you to look for or you're interested in looking at. Then you'll press Continue, and then OK, and it'll show up in your output page. Now if you close the output page, if you try to close it, it's going to ask you if you want to save it. I don't care if you save it or not. I'm having you take a screenshot of everything from your output and put it into your homework file so that I can grade it faster, because I'm going to try and do better at that. But if you want to save it, you can. Okay, so now maybe we're going to put that just age variable into a table. So we make it APA format. We have a nice title, which isn't existing here. Put the characteristic, your mean, and SD. Then the age would be on the far left, and then your values for mean and SD are on the right. Or you can use the plus minus symbol. So that's how you go from SPSS to the APA style table. You're not going to have to do that in homework 3, but you will in homework 4. So, it is coming, so prepare yourselves. Okay. Is everyone okay so far? All right. Go to the next one then. So we have these two other variables that are nominal and ordinal. So that's how we're going to measure them differently than we did that continuous variable. So similar procedure, we go to analyze, descriptive statistics, frequencies, then make sure you put age back because we don't care about that anymore. And then you can bring over own a pet and current stress level. You can do 2 at once. It's so exciting. Okay. So for this, we want to uncheck the statistics because they're nominally and ordinally measured. So a mean is not going to mean anything because it's just going to give you a number. Maybe like for pet ownership, it might give you a mean of like 1.6, which means nothing to you. So we're going to clear those. So you just uncheck them. Dun, dun, and then press continue. Make sure for the nominal and ordinal you have display frequency tables checked off. And then OK. And then you get this nice table here that tells you none of the values are missing. Excellent. That's what you want to see. And then your own a pet variable. There's 4 people that own a pet and 6 that don't. Then your current stress level, you have 5 that are low stress, 3 that are moderate, and 2 that are high. So the frequency is N. So if you're making an APA style table, N is this number in the frequency column. The percent that would go next to your N is this second column, percent. The valid percent is if you had missing data, and for the most part we won't, so you don't need to worry about it. And cumulative percent is the first answer. So for moderate stress, it includes everyone who responded at moderate stress and everyone who responded at low stress. So this should add up to 100. That's all you need to look at on this part. Okay. Any questions on that? You can run these 2 separately if you wanted, but I always run them together because it makes putting it into a new table easier. Okay, let's see, what else do we want to do? Okay, now we're going to recode a variable. Fun. Okay, so we're going to go to transform, recode into different variable, and then you get a dialog box. That looks very similar to the frequency one, but it's different. So we're going to put age into 2 categories. Instead of having it a continuous variable, we're going to turn it into a nominal variable. So you'll bring age over here, and then we'll create a new variable name in this name box. So I'm going to call it age underscore R. R just means recoded because we're recoding it. But you can name it whatever you want, just no spaces or numbers. And then the label would be recoded age into categories, whatever is going to help you remember it. Then you have to click change, or it won't do anything. Then we're going to put in, so once you hit change, you see how it appears, your new variable appears to the right of that arrow? That means you're good. But now we have to put the old and new values in. So we're going to click that button, and we're going to say, let's see here. We're going to make the range from the lowest value in our data set through age 24 a new value of 1. So that's going to be our first group. Will be anyone that is up to and including age 24. And then you'll press add. and it'll show up in this box, old ... triangle thingy 1. Then we want to have everyone else, so everyone who's 25 or older in our second group. So we're going to click range value through highest and put 25 because that's where we're starting, and it'll be every value after that. And value, new value would be 2. And then you'll press add, and it'll show up as 25 through highest over here. You can also use this range. So if you wanted to have people that were age 18 to 24 in one category, and then age 25 to 30 in another category, and then everyone that was 36 and older in a third category, you can use this range and put in the first number, the lower number, and then the higher number, and it'll give you everyone in that range. Okay. Then we'll press continue, so we have our 2 new values. Whoops. It doesn't like when I click things too quickly, apparently. Okay. So now that we've added our old variable value, our old and new values, we clicked this change button. We can click OK. And now in your output, all that's going to show up is this command that says recode and what we did into this new variable. Then it'll give variable labels because we put a label in for our new variable, and then execute. So this doesn't show you anything in the output file. If you go back to your data and look at variable view, you now have a new variable in the 5th row. If you look at data view, you will have new values in this last column. Cool. Yeah. So then what we want to do is check and make sure we did it correctly. So this will do the crosstabs procedure. So we're going to go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Crosstabs. So this is the 4th option. And then you're going to pull over that age variable in the row and the recoded into the column. You can do it the other way too. It doesn't matter. Then we're just going to press OK. So what this shows us, you can't see it because your computer's in the way. Hold on. It doesn't want to make it smaller. Okay, there you go. What this does is it shows you that the value of 18 was recoded into our new category of 1, which is under 24. And all of the values under 24 from our original variable should be in this 1 column. That's good. Then everyone that's 25 or older should be in this 2 category because they're 25 or older. So their the amounts, the frequency of those should show up here in the 2nd column, and the rest should be zeros. Does that make sense, everyone, why this is checking your original to your new variable? This way, if you make a mistake and say you included 25 in your first category, but it's not supposed to be there, if you check it here, it'll have a 1. And you'll be like, oh no, that one's not supposed to be there. So then you have to redo it. The whole recoding procedure so that you have it correct. This is really important because if you recode incorrectly, everything else is going to be wrong. But I give partial credit, so it's okay. But make sure you check this because you'll figure out if you did it wrong sooner than if you put your answers in your homework and you're like, whoa, wait, this doesn't make any sense. So always do this. I've had it bite me in the butt when I don't do it. So make sure you do it because you'll get really upset at yourself if you have to redo the entire homework because you didn't check your recode at the very beginning. Okay, let's see, what else do we have to do here? Oh no! It doesn't want me to look at this anymore. Oh, okay, now we're going to recode an old variable with some categories into a new variable with fewer categories. So we're going to recode an ordinal variable into a new variable that is nominal. So again, transform, recode into different variables, hit reset because we're starting a new variable. Then we'll want to bring over, current stress level. Then we'll type in our new variable name. So stress level R, or whatever you want to call it, recoded stress level. Once you do that, you click change, and then the new variable name appears up here in this box. Then we'll click old and new values. So when we're there, again, all of this is in the PowerPoint, so you can see it again later. So we want to have the range of values of 0 to 1, which was no stress to low stress, be a new value of 1. So maybe that is just people that have little stress in their lives. And then we want to have the 2 and 3 categories into a new category, number 2. And that's people that have a decent amount of stress or a lot of stress in their lives. And then add. So it should look, we should have these 2 old and new boxes here. And then you'll press continue. Once you do that, then you can press OK. And again, it doesn't give you a frequency or anything because it just is telling you what it did, which was recode the variable. So then we're going to go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Cross Tabs because we want to check and make sure we did it correctly. Reset so we can start over. Code it, the original variable, the new variable, and then OK. So then you're going to check to see that the values are where they're supposed to be. So low stress went into that first category, so there should be 5 people there. And then moderate and high stress went into the second category, so the other people should be there. Now if we want to see the variable label or the value labels for these numbers, we can go back to our variable view and add them in here. So if you click next to the none and put 1 as low stress and 2 as high stress, and then press OK, and then we run that same cross tab. So descriptive statistics, cross tabs, everything should still be there. So we press OK and it does it again. But now it tells you this value here. So you may want to do that before you do the crosstabs so you know what each value is supposed to be. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. That's all you have to know. I'm just kidding. That's all we're going to do today for SPSS, which I know is a lot. Yes. The last part? So the crosstabs is just comparing your original variable to this newly created variable. So we're seeing here that the people with the lowest stress in that original variable are still in our low stress group in this new variable. But they're not in our high stress group, which is good. Then these moderate and high stress people in our original variable are now in our high stress new variable, which is what we wanted because we recoded them to be in that variable. So if they appeared in this one with a 3 or a 2, we'd be like, oh no, something went wrong. Does that make sense? A little bit?
I'm I want to know how we arrive at this point.
How you get there?
How we got at this point.
How you got that table? Oh, okay. That's easy. Everything's easy. I'm just kidding. Analyze, descriptive statistics, crosstabs, and then you have your original variable in the row and your new variable in the column, and then you press OK. This data set is on D2L, the completed one, for you guys to compare your answers to if you would like to. So it may be good for you all to go on D2L now and download this day 3 stress and pet ownership file so that you know how to open a file in SPSS. So log on to your D2L and go into module 3 and download and open this file on your computer. So you practice opening it, because believe it or not, many people have a problem opening these files. And we're going to be using files for homework for a lot of the class, so you have to be able to open. So take 2 minutes and do that while I take a drink of water so I can breathe and talk again. So there's 2 ways to open it. You can either click on it and it opens this new window and then you can download it. Or you can click the arrow next to it and download it. But you want to save it someplace on the computer that you can get to easily. Then you're going to go into your SPSS file, open, if you haven't done this already. And then find wherever you put that file. For me, it's like hidden. Oh no, it's not there. I guess it's not there. Maybe I should download it. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Or you can click this open folder too, if you're fancy like that. And once you find it, you click it and then click open, and it should open a new SPSS document. That has the answers. Then you can compare your file to this file to make sure your recodes were correct. If you didn't do that while I was showing you. Was anyone not able to open the file? Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Okay. Now I'm going to go over homework 3 and second discussion board, and then we'll be done. So homework 3, this is all about what we did today in class. So it's just walking through similar steps. So you're going to open this fictitious .sav file from the Module 3 content. Then you're going to do all of these different tasks. So you're going to complete the data set. When you open it, it's going to have variables named V1, V2, and V3. And you're going to change those names to gender, homework, and practice. The same way we created our new variables, you just type it in that variable view. Then you're going to add detailed descriptions so you know what those mean, and then add those value labels. So that's the 3 dots next to the values. So they're listed here for the different variables. Then, after you do those things, you're going to add these three individuals, their response file. So you're going to type in these, like we added the data today, you're going to do the same thing, add these three to the already existing data. And then you're going to take a screenshot of the data view and the variable view. And that's how I'm going to know that you did all of these things. And I have some tips for screenshots if you don't know how to do it up here. Or you can Google it, because Google is your friend. So that's the first part. The second part is changing this one missing value. So the way to change it, I give you instructions in this, but if we're in SPSS and you're in variable view, if you click on missing, the three dots next to it, you can add discrete missing values, and you would just type in that 999, which is the value that's missing in that fictitious data set. And then when you do that, you'll be able to run this frequency on that variable, and it'll make sense, the answer, instead of having someone's value of 999. Because I think all the rest of them are like 0 to 15 maybe. Something where a 900 would not make sense. Then you're going to recode the age variable into a new age variable. So very similar to what we did today, you're going to put it into two categories. The ages 18 to 28 is going to be your first one, and 29 through 37 will be your second one. So you'll insert the value labels. Make sure you do this once you create that new variable. And then you'll run a frequency and put the frequency, a screenshot, in the document. If you don't put the screenshot of the frequency in the document, I don't know that you did it, so I can't give you credit. Then you're going to create a new variable using the compute variable. Oh, we didn't talk about that. I'm going to show you quick. If you go to transform compute variable, target variable will be your new variable name. So that's where you would put, I think this is what I told you to call it, comptote. This is not the right file, so it's not going to actually do this. But then you're going to put the three different variables. So that's the first one, plus the second one, plus the third one. And then when you press OK, it'll calculate that and make a new variable, which will show up in your data view, just like if you recoded to a different variable. After you do that, you're going to run a frequency on that new variable and put your screenshot of that frequency into the document before you submit it. Then we're going to use the select cases function. So if we want to select only those people in our file that we were using today in class, we're going to go to data, select cases, and then if condition is satisfied, if they own a pet, then that would be equal to 1, because the value of 1 means they own a pet. Then you'll press continue, and then OK. So then that'll tell you it did all this fun stuff and selected only those people who own a pet. And then I think I ask you to find the mean value. So then say we want to find the mean age for only those people that own a pet. We're going to go to age, bring it over to the variables, click statistics, click just the mean, because that's all we care about, continue, and OK. So now down here you can see it only has those people that said yes to owning a pet in our frequency box, and our mean is listed here as 35.5. So in our made-up file that we did today, there are 4 people that own pets, and their average age is 35.5. If we go back and see the age that we found earlier, The average age from earlier. Oh, I think I got rid of it. Okay. Other note about selecting cases. Now that you've selected it, it's going to be there, and you're only going to see the data for those people. So if you look in data view, it has those people who said no to that question, X with a line through their data. Before you do anything else, make sure you turn that off. So to turn off the selection, you go back to data, back to select cases, and hit reset, and then hit OK. And then it tells you that it turned the filter off. And you can see in your data view that everyone is now appearing again. Make sure you do that too, because if you select people and then you run the next thing, it'll be wrong. Okay. And then the last thing is creating a histogram. Oh man, I totally forgot a bunch of these things today. Sorry guys. If you go back to the descriptive statistics, frequencies, and go to charts, you can make a histogram just by clicking histogram, clicking continue, and clicking OK. And then this histogram will appear. And all you have to do is take a screenshot or copy and paste this into the document.
Where'd you go again?
Analyze, descriptive statistics, frequencies, go into charts. Instead of statistics, we're going to go to the second button, charts, and make sure histogram is highlighted. And click continue and then OK. There are videos on D2L that show you how to do all of those things. So if you get confused, you can watch them and it shows you step by step on a different set of data how to do everything you need to do for the homework. So it is there for you to watch. And then the last thing I have you guys just telling me how much effort you put into it. That'll be part of your grade. So I've been giving you +5 just because for fun. So now I'm going to have you guys grade your effort into the assignment, and then yours will be part of that extra points and how I think you did effort-wise. Like if you put all of your work in, or if you leave like 6 blank and still turn it in, then you'll probably get a lower effort grade than if you don't leave any blank. So, does that make sense? Okay. Any questions on that homework? I'm sure you have lots of questions. You can always email me or email your classmates. Okay. Also due next week is the discussion board too. So you're going to create a health-related example of how you would use descriptive statistics in an evaluation of some program or service at a health agency. So how would you use a mean or a standard deviation or a mode or a median in a program evaluation or a service evaluation? It does not need to be long. 2 to 3 sentences maybe. Okay? And then reply to someone else and be like, hey, I like that idea. Good job. That's all I'm looking for. Because I know the other assignment's going to be tough. So this one's really simple. Any questions? Yes, so to save the SPSS file, you want to go to File. It won't catch up with me. Save or save as, and then select where you want to save it, and type whatever name you want to save it as, and press save. The save button here. And then it'll be there for you.
But you don't want the file.
I don't want the file. I want you to take screenshots and put them in your Word document that you submit. I don't know what that means. So I wouldn't use that.
We're all set?
Yes, that's it.
have like a few weeks and Mark has already told us all. And it was really it was like now I'm in it and I feel like I'm not prepared. Sorry.